Greetings, brethren, and welcome back to the Chess Crusader channel. Today, I've got something a little bit special in store for you. One of the cooler games, I think, honestly, that I've ever played. And it was very recently against one of my friends who I played at work. Usually when you're talking to some of your friends, your colleagues, and they're like, oh yeah, I play chess. It's like, okay, but then they're like at a 300 level, so you just absolutely demolish them. Well, that wasn't the case here, because I played against my buddy here, Jerry, right? And Jerry's rated 1700 on chess.com for rapid. You'll see the time controls at about 1 hour there. We didn't actually just set it to 1 hour. We just played a long game where we just were sitting at work and we didn't have anything to do. So we just gave each other big time control and then we played. First game I've ever actually played against him and the strongest rated player that I've ever played in real life. And this was a very cool game, so I'm excited to get into it. But as we do our review, we're going to turn off Stockfish, turn off the engine, because I think this is a game better narrated without that until the end. And yeah, as per the title, got 7 great moves in this game. One of my favorite games probably that I've ever played, honestly, especially in real life against a real person. So yeah, we'll get right into it. How did this game against Jerry go? Well, we have pawn d4. I respond d5. I've been doing this a lot recently with Slav intentions, but yeah, Jerry brings out the bishop. I go along with the Slav anyway, kind of like as a queen's pawn kind of opening, maybe trying to get in here eventually. But yeah, we have some development, some symmetrical development, very symmetrical now, and we have some, queen development over here. In which case, I always bring out my queen as well, because usually the idea is to trade like this, and I get my rook open on this side because I want to be able to battle, especially after a trade like this. Maybe I can go here, take over more of the center. That is my plan. Okay, but Jerry just kind of reinforces. I also do, because guess what? Now I'm trying to target this square. That's the entire point. You could say likewise on Jerry's side. Knight development. Wow, look, we're kind of copying each other. And, okay, now we have some asymmetry, finally, in the position. Bringing our knight out here, kind of preparing this, or this kind of development. Okay, pushes forward, and we do a nice little trade here. Which, doubling the pawns here, it'd be really nice to not be able to, let that pawn get forward, but now he has the open file, so we'll have to see how this goes, and these pawns might be reinforced later into the game. Now we develop our bishop, because we're just going to castle, because this bishop's just kind of eating rocks now. We could go here to try and go here, but then, he gets a free undoubling of his pawns, so not very good. All right, knight out, not really going to do anything, because, blocked off there, but we're going to castle. Yeah, bringing that forward, kind of trying to prepare an attack over here. And I bring out my knight. I'm like, hey, let's get rid of this bishop. This bishop, not really great for me. And my knight's not doing anything over here, so try to trade. And now Jerry has both of the files open, preparing some attacks maybe. But that structure is a little bit weak. I bring my rook over here, maybe for some kind of a push potential in the future. Okay, now Jerry's going to strike with b5 there, bringing that pawn forward, trying to get in. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to take there. I want you to actually choose, because you take this way, maybe we'll take this way, or, a variety of different exchanges that can go on here. Jerry decides to take this way. I take back with the pawn. My idea with that is to bring this rook over here and attack over here, because all of his pieces are kind of over here. So that was my idea. Recognizing this, Jerry starts bringing the king over, because he realizes he probably has to get to this pawn to be able to defend it nice. Of course, naturally, I bring my rook forward to attack that square, and we have some defense with this knight here, which is very loose, but I actually don't have any way to attack this knight. Like, it would be nice if I could go here and attack it, but I just can't. You could have put the rook behind here, but then the rook would be less active on the pawn, so. Alright, now I move my bishop over here to maybe try to open up the center over here, right? Because, like, their king's in the center. Mine is not. So I want to, like, if this, then we're just going to try to break through. Recognizing this, Jerry's like, hey, well, I should probably get rid of this bishop. I go back, and then we trade, both having these kind of doubled pawns on the edges, but I have the b file. He has the h file. Next, we have a pawn push forward, right? And my idea is to maybe try to get some action up in here. And yeah, Jerry kind of goes back with a retreating knight move, maybe to reroute this way, something like this, because it's not going forward. And then I have this pawn push here, which to the untrained eye, and even the trained eye, looks like a simple loss of a pawn. And you would absolutely be right. But my justification here was that now my opponent's pawn structure is really, really bad, especially now that I have some pressure on this knight, and maybe this pawn. Jerry moves this pawn forward as to not get rid of that, but these two pawns together, not good, right? Because I'm down 2 entire pieces of material, but maybe we're going to try to go win some of that back. Sure, I move my rook over, kind of forgetting, about this pawn, but yeah, we're going to win this pawn back. We get back with the rook, and now the king has a couple of decisions. The king can move back here, or the king can move forward. Forward's a little bit more risky. Backwards probably more safe, but that bishop still can't really get out, so maybe we get some doubling up. This was my justification, is that Jerry's pawn structure is really bad, and I still have some pawns together. This pawn is probably going to fall very soon, unfortunately, so maybe my calculations weren't quite so good, but Jerry moves forward instead of trying to retreat. So we bring our rook over, and we're like, hey, we're threatening some stuff here. We're trying to maybe trap that king while these bishop and stuff can't get out. And now we have this. Jerry's going to take the pawn over here with the bishop. Makes sense. Now your rooks are nice and connected. This is where we're going to bring the engine into play here, because this is actually a mistake. Why is this a mistake? Well, because now I can give this check, and Jerry thinks that, he can run away, which he can, true. But then we bring this pawn forward to actually block that escape, because now these two reinforcing each other, blocked, 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 block. The king has nowhere to go. Not a single square for the king to go. So, oh, by the way, this was a good move. Oh yeah, great move. I don't know if I called that. Great move. Great move number 2. We have our counter going. Great move number 2. So Jerry finds this move with the rook also a great move. Great move. The only move to try and defend the mate, because that's the threat. Rook here, that's just straight up checkmate. And you can't block it with this, because let's say you block it this way instead. That's actually bad, because now I'm going to go here. Goes up. Actually, what is the threat here? I don't even. Moves back down. I always thought the threat was like down here or something. Anyway. The threat if he goes here is something like this, where now this is going to be checkmate, right? And he can't just block it, because we're going to take this pawn back, and then yeah, be threatening some more things. So he has to block with this specific rook, and now that we've done that, well, Jerry is 150 rated better than me, so I was like, well, if we give him this check here, the king has nowhere to go but up, and he can't block with this, like with the bishop, or we're just going to take it for free, and it will be checkmate again. So Jerry moves up, we give a check, another great move, down, another great move, up, another great move, and then we get a draw. So that's how the game actually ends there, which is quite fascinating, because in total, if I switch over here to my, where were we? Right here. We got 7 great moves, right? Which is probably the most great moves I think I've gotten in an entire single game. And a relatively high accuracy from the both of us. Scrolling back down here, 2150 and 2300. 2300 might actually be the highest rated game I think I've ever had in my entire, YouTube chess career. So, yeah, we'll take a look at this. Probably back from the beginning. We both have our, pawns and our structure here. And this was all relatively equal. Relatively good theory. All of us bringing this here. We have some, mistakes, but they're mistakes for, 0.1, 0.2, which at not Grandmaster level doesn't actually matter all that much. Oh, yeah, this was great move number 1, I guess. So now we have our 7 great moves total, where we just get some development. And the only thing that wasn't equal in this game was actually my plan here, which makes sense because we sacrificed a piece. Okay, only -2, +2 for white. Yeah, take some pieces. Now it's +4. Why? Probably because, after some forced trades here, they have a very, very bad pawn structure, but they're just going to be up, a full rook here after any kind of a trade like that. So I didn't really see that very well. I was just thinking this, and I'm like, wow, look at that pawn structure. It's going to be awful. I have some pressure on this. But then I just didn't think, rook takes pawn. I was always thinking bishop takes pawn, and then some kind of like now it's pinned, or something like this maybe, get back. Which now that he's only I guess my rook is hanging, so I guess take this first, take back, go here. But yeah, it's still not good. I figured it was good. I'm only +1 or -1. But yeah, was not good. Did not like that push there. But then, yeah, like kind of a more defensive move after these trades. The king gets back here, and that move to go forward instead of backwards. If Jerry decided to go backwards here, then it's a lot harder for me to kind of do anything. Okay, well, we get a check now. But I still wouldn't know what to do, honestly. Like, what does it want me to do now? Try to double up over here? Okay, that makes sense. Get my rook on the back, kind of pin these pieces together. Maybe. Yeah, just positionally, I guess it's good. And I have a pass pawn, so yeah. Yeah, and then after this trades, then we just bring our rooks together for this. And Jerry told me during the game that he didn't actually see this pawn move. He thought he could run his king all the way out, which would totally be right. Because if he was able to escape like I did literally anything else, now he's just gone, right? He's just running. His king's all the way over here. Can't move very much, but he's just running. He's trying to get back here. And yeah, it's kind of over for me. So we had that king kind of blocking move, and then that enabled this draw. So the probably the highest ranked draw I've ever had. And somehow that I think all these great moves kind of inflated my expected elo a bit, because 2300, that's miles above anything that I've ever gotten. Well, I think I've gotten 2250 before, but yeah, very, very kind of interesting game there, especially for one against somebody that I know. So yeah, that's the game. That's the 7 Great Moves Chess Crusader game. And now I'll just show you all the members end screen. Actually, I need to update this because there's one more person who became a member. But we have Dodo, we have Spectra, and these are people who, they support my channel. They support what I do. Thank you so much. I appreciate them. At the end of every video that I make a little kind of nod to my members of the channel. And if you want to see your name here or get priority in my chess queues when I do live streams against my viewers, along with a bunch of other perks that you can go and look at yourself, feel free to become a member. You support me, and then you're the greatest who's ever existed, and you'll see your name. So, yeah, that's awesome. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Godspeed, brethren.